When I was young, I used to think therapy is sitting on a couch and telling your problems to someone who would tell you what's wrong with you. You would expect to walk away from there with a diagnosis, a label, maybe a prescription, and hopefully with a little bit of less confusion about your life or your problem. But as the years passed, I realized healing, real healing, does not start with what's wrong with me. It almost always starts with something much more powerful. I have power, I can change. I am a psychotherapist. Every day, I listen to people, adults, teens, families, who feel stuck and lost. So many years of practice, so many cases. And one thing I have realized, most people don't need to be fixed. They need to be empowered. They need to be reminded that the right to live better, choose better, feel better, lies within them. It's a very simple thought, but it's extremely challenging sometimes. Empowerment is when a student raises their hand and they say, I need help, I am struggling. Empowerment is when you decide to say no, to set that boundary with a friend or a relative who has been draining your energy. Empowerment is when you decide that your voice, your choice, and your story matters. Empowerment does not mean to pretend everything is all right. It is not fake positivity, neither kind of pretended cheerfulness. Empowerment comes from something far deeper. It comes from the thought that I have it in me and I matter. I want to say this to the young people in this room. You are growing up in a world that is constantly talking at you. Social media is telling you how you should be. Peers are telling you what you should achieve. And society is trying to tell you how your life should look like. But empowerment flips that story. Empowerment gives you the power to tell your story and tell them how you see your life as and what you want to become. That is kind of therapy in action. Because every time you work towards your strength, you are healing. And in that healing, you are empowering yourself without even realizing it. Let me tell you a story. It's a fairy tale. A lot of us would have already heard it. It's the story of Hansel and Gretel. Two young children abandoned in a forest, cold, starving, scared. They come across a magical house made of candy. Sweetness hiding danger. Very similar to things that we chase when we are so desperate to feel better about ourselves. They gave in to their temptation. They thought the sweetness would save them for some time. But very soon they realized the entrapment they were in. And very soon they also realized they were moments away from becoming human soup. Unlike other fairy tales, no fairy godmother or Prince Charming seemed to be remotely interested in showing up in this one to save them. Now what do? Well, they decided to take matters in their own hands. They decided to empower themselves. They decided to believe in their intelligence, in their intellect, and try to turn the story around, and they did. The moment when Gretel pushes the witch into her own fire, it's not about violence. It's symbolic of the transition that a powerless child feels that she has it within her to save herself. Both Hansel and Gretel teach us that sometimes we have to stop waiting for the world to come and rescue us, and we have to start looking within ourselves to see what is it that we have not tapped into. Now, let me bring in some real life stories. I will discuss 2 case studies out of the numerous cases successfully that I have handled over the years. But these 2 kind of touch the mark a little more than the others of empowerment. I have changed the names of the people for confidentiality purposes. Case study 1 is Maya. Maya, a young student, when she came to me, she told me, "I think I am broken. Fix me." She was getting panic attacks before exams and other important events. And she was kind of struggling with a lot of self-doubt because there was a lot of social media comparison, constantly feeling that she's not adequate, she's not enough. For weeks together, she waited for me to tell her what to do. And one day I asked her, "Maya, what if you already know what you want to do, but you're just too afraid to make that choice?" That changed her narrative. She started journaling. She started looking into what she really wants to do. Each day, she would set some small doable goals for herself and try to achieve them, feeling good about herself at the end of the day, feeling, "I am capable." Very soon, she did not say, "I am broken." She started saying, "I am building." So, her self-doubt kind of transitioned to self-direction. And that was the superpower of empowerment that she achieved, and that was therapeutic for her. Case study 2, Raj. Raj was in his 40s when he started his therapy with me. Picture perfect on paper, but feeling extremely depleted. He was so exhausted, constantly pleasing everyone, family, bosses, society, that he just could not put up with it anymore. He told me, "Advise me, what should I do?" I asked him a simple question, "Raj, when was the last time you made a choice purely for yourself?" And he drew a blank. He just could not remember. That was the turning point for Raj. He started saying no to extra work, to commitments, to responsibilities, and to guilt that was not his own to carry. He even went back to painting. Very recently, he even did a gallery exhibit. And that is something he had stopped doing when he was just about 20 years old. Raj's superpower, or what worked for him, was him giving himself the allowance to choose his own life. Both Raj and Maya discovered something Hansel and Gretel probably discovered a while back, also because they got ditched by Prince Charming and by Fairy Godmother, is that no matter how scary the forest, how powerful the witch, the journey out always starts from within when we realize what we have in us. So next time you feel anxious, confused, and thoroughly let down by what's happening around you, do not ask what's wrong with me. Ask instead, what are the powers that I have in me which I have forgotten to use? Because empowerment is not the opposite of therapy. Empowerment is the new therapy. It's kind of your own kryptonite. So let's all start, use our kryptonite, recharge ourselves, empower ourselves, lead a better life, and probably empower some other people too. Thank you.